Okay, how many times today? Okay. Listen, whenever I have come across something that will help the next person on a healing journey, I am all for it, okay? Because I remember those times where as though I was seeking information and I wanted my life to change so much and I didn't know how that change was going to come about, but I just kept on seeking and I'm still seeking, okay? It's an ongoing thing to the person that's out there that's like, well, I'm on myself. This is an ongoing thing, okay? Healing is a beautiful thing. At times it can look ugly. At times you will be crying. At times you may feel frustrated. All those emotions are acceptable, okay? You want to remember that you don't want to disregard your emotions and your feelings. Acknowledge them, understand how you feel, but do understand and get there is a light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. Okay? And so I was here reading The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is one of the books that I highly, highly recommend. Matter of fact, all his books, all of Don Miguel Ruiz books are really, really good, especially when it comes to healing. Okay. Is this book? I have another book called Mastery of Love. Mastery of Love is phenomenal. It talks about how we tend to want something from other people, okay? And they could not give us something that they did not possess or something that they felt they did not have, okay? And it starts talking about how to start loving yourself, how to be the person that you were seeking outside of your existence, whether it was love from your mama, love from your daddy, love from your significant other, love from your family, from your friends. It talks about how you could give yourself that love. And so I'm just gonna read like a page or so because maybe this will help somebody. I don't know. I know me reading this, it definitely did something to me, my spirit. I start going back and start looking at the times where so I said, oh, I remember those days, right? And I'm so grateful and thankful for the lessons that I received from the universe. I often say that life is my guru because everything that I tend to learn from life, okay, it helps my life get better. The lessons, they could either be a continuous lesson or honey, they could be a goddamn blessing. Now you choose which one you want it to be. Okay, it could be a lesson and a blessing. Okay, but if you're not getting a lesson and a blessing, okay, you just gonna keep on like looping. Okay, keep on repeating the same exact thing. Okay. Um, in the book, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, okay, he states, in your whole life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. And the limit of your self abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in a relationship and tolerate it endlessly. Isn't that crazy? Like, if somebody abuses you more, right? You already got the abuse going on within yourself. You're already abusing yourself. You're already critiquing yourself. And I told you, I say this, and I had got this from I'm trying to think of the guy name. Professor but anywho, I remember one night I just got out there. I was in the shower and I was listening to this brother, and one of the things that he said was that it is so improper to look at yourself and say you hate any part of your body, okay? if you feel that way, do understand and get is going to reflect on your outside. The people that tend to show up in your life, they are going to reflect your shadow side. The shadow side is the side of us that we tend to want to hide. The shadow side is the part of us that, we may critique when nobody else is around us, right? We may say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this about me. I don't like this. It's the part of us that, that we tend to keep away from others, right? And it's improper to say, I hate any form of your body. Because let me tell you something. You are one of a kind. You are amazing. Your imperfections are your superpowers. Okay? You are absolutely, positively beautiful. Okay? And you have to understand it and realize it. It's not about how you are on the outside. It's about how you are within. Okay? It's not you having it all together that's allowing you to attract the certain type of relationships that you are attracting. It's not you, having your hair slayed and laid or your makeup on and those things are okay. But if you feel like you're not good enough without those things, okay, what's attracting you to the type of relationships, even for the men, right? Like that feels like, well, I gotta show women, that I got the money, I got money. It was somebody on my Facebook page not too long ago, and I was talking about, the relationships that I was in and how I chose those relationships. And one of the things he opened up, and it was an older guy, and he said to me, in the comments, he said, he had a thing for as women that looked a certain part, right? Like he was like he lust for certain types of women, probably with the big booty and the big chest and stuff like that. Those the type of women that he will go after. And it's nothing wrong with your preference, okay? But if you feel like you're not good enough unless you have all this money, right? Money does not make you. You make it. Okay? Anything. Any makeup, any clothing, whatever. Don't look at those things like those things make. I used to feel that way a while ago. I used to feel, and that's why I come on here the way I come on here. If my hair is done, if it's just freshly unraveled, right, a fresh twist out, then honey, okay. But if it's not a fresh twist out, okay, we showing up like this because the message is way more important than the appearance. Okay, the energy is way more important than the appearance. Now you can have both. You can have the appearance and the energy. But if my hair is like this and I just woke up, honey, I'm gonna do a live. Okay, if I have been called to do a live, I'm gonna do a live. Okay, I'm not gonna be in the mirror saying, "Oh well, wait, I gotta fix my hair first before." No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do all of that. Okay, because I accept me for who I am. If this is how I woke up, okay, and I'm like, okay, girl, okay, right. So we have to get so comfortable in our skin, okay, and accept ourselves for exactly who we are, okay, because then this is what you are going to notice, right? So it goes on and says, if you abuse yourself very badly, you can even tolerate someone who beats you up, humiliate you, and treat you like dirt. Why? Because in your belief system, you say, I deserve it. This person is doing me a favor by being with me. I'm not worthy of love and respect. I'm not good enough. I remember being in a relationship like that. And I'm so grateful. I am so, so, so grateful. Honey, you gotta be grateful for those lessons that turns out to be blessings. The reason why you have to be grateful for those lessons is because Once you get the lesson, you don't repeat that course again, honey. You don't repeat the course again, Dollface. You don't repeat it again once you get those lessons. And so I am so grateful for those lessons that I have received and the lessons that I'm going to continuously receive. I am so grateful for that because if I know what I had, if I know what I've been through, okay, how could you know what you want? Right? How could you know you want a good paycheck if it's not for the bad paycheck? Somebody speak to me tonight, okay? Okay? How could you know that you want a better relationship if it's not for the damn unacceptable relationship, honey, that you done chose? Okay? How could you know that? So you have to be grateful and thankful for those lessons that life is showing you. I am telling you, honey, somebody speak to me tonight, okay? I am telling you, you have to be grateful for those lessons because when you get the lesson, honey, in the blessing, okay, you don't repeat that course again, okay? It's like you move up to another level, okay? Another level. And so Don Miguel Ruiz, he goes on and says, and I don't know, listen, okay, I could do these videos even if no one is on here, okay, but it's somebody on here, okay. I love making content. I love making content, especially knowing that I am doing the work on myself and being able to give back and be relatable and transparent and authentic. Nothing makes me feel so liberated when I see someone and they say, I watch your live videos, or I watched your video, I came across your video. And not that I changed their life, because I can't change your life. Okay, let me just be clear on it. I can't change your life, okay? But you can change your life. I just make the videos and that's it. But I can't change your life. So I don't want people out there, oh, but you changed my life. No, you changed your life. You changed your life because you started waking up and started realizing that you have everything within you already to change your life, to get better from life. And you start seeing that you are deserving. You started seeing that you are worthy. You started seeing that you are enough. Okay. So I'm just, I guess they say like the vessel. I just shared the stuff that I'm doing with you guys. Some of the techniques that I do in my own life, okay, the techniques that I do in my own life, and I just make videos about it, okay. And I'm still healing, just like everybody else out there. So never look at me like I have it all figured it out. Never look at me like I'm the guru at the top of the mountain. I'm still climbing just like the rest of you guys, okay. But it goes on, it says we have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept and love ourselves. The more self-love we have, the less we will experience self-abuse. Don't that sound marvelous? Doesn't that make you feel so happy inside to know that there is a solution to the imaginary illusionary problem, okay? And I got this from this book, okay? The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. This book done been through some things, but honey, never mind it, okay? One of the things I love about the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, now I'm jumping to another book, okay, is a passage in his book that says, to every problem, there's a solution. And you may be thinking that your problem is so big, but there is a solution. If you focus on finding out the solution as opposed of keep on focusing on a problem, you will find a solution. I guarantee you will find a solution. I guarantee you. You gotta shift gears where your focus is going, because we become what we think about. Okay. And so it goes on and says, all right, self-abuse comes from self-rejection, and self-rejection comes from having an image of what it means to be perfect and never measuring up to that ideal. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves. It is why we don't accept ourselves the way we are and why we don't accept others the way they are. When I started accepting myself for the way I am, right? Um, and self-love is an ongoing thing, right? But when I started accepting myself, for instance, I remember once upon a time I couldn't accept my hair. Okay, I remember I just could not, and I would make these excuses. Okay, and listen, somebody else may be out there like, well, no, that's not me. This is my story. This is my life, and I'm sharing exactly how I felt. I remember once upon a time I had called my brother who is part of he practiced Nation of Islam, okay? And I remember I spoke to him and I was telling him, I just got finished watching a video. And the video basically was saying, like, if you can't wear your natural hair, then there is a form of self-hate. Like if you put in, perms and stuff in your hair and, all these different things. Now, it's nothing wrong with those things. Like I said, well, the creamy crack, they don't have records on those perms and everything like that. And those perms, they eat up your scalp and everything. Okay. I done seen, it was a video of a police officer who said that she was working, in a corner. Well, she was working or standing guard while this guy was, the undertaker was like examining the body and stuff like that. And or the coroner, one of them who work at the hospital, okay, when the bodies come in. And he had asked her, no, she said to him, she said, why does the lady here look like, scalp look like that? It was all corroded, like, eaten up. And she didn't understand like why. And it was a lady of African, I don't like the term African American descent, right? It was a lady of color, right? And the scalp, it was all like pretty much eaten up, okay? And the medical examiner said to her, he said, you know what this comes from? It comes from the perms that you guys put in your hair. And at that time, that is at that time that correction, that police officer, she said she never put a perm in her hair ever after that day. And her dreads was like gorgeous. They was like really long, neatly done. They was like so beautiful. And I remember I had seen that video and I had decided to go natural, right? And that's like when my journey first started. Me started going into being natural and stuff like that. But I was working, at a corporate company, doing security, and I remember when I first did the twist out, right? And I caught myself doing the twist out. Honey, it looked good to me. But it was some people who was like, you can't go to work like that, right? And so and at this time I was going to a lady who was natural and she was my beautician. And her hair looked gorgeous. It was colored. It was like blonde. It was, the stuff that she was putting on her hair. It looked absolutely gorgeous. And I remember in the beginning when I first started going to her, I was like, I'm soon going to go natural, whatever. Well, the time had came for me to go natural. Okay, because I was just sick and tired of putting the perms and stuff in my hair. And I said, I'm going natural. So I told her, I called her up to, make an appointment like, oh yeah, such and such. I'm going natural. What could I get? And prior to that, in the beginning, she was, when I said, "Oh, I'm going natural. I'm soon gonna go natural." She was excited. She was like, "Oh yeah, girl," because when I go on vacation, I don't have to do nothing to my hair. After I get out of the water, I just do like this, and people be looking, and so she was encouraging me. But when I decided to go natural, and I made that appointment, and I said to her, I said, "Girl, I'm going natural." Okay. She said to me, she said, well, it's nothing that you could really get. You could just get what she say, a wash and curl or something. And the way she said it was like, in other words, or my interpretation was that it wasn't gonna look good. So what I did was I went back to the salon and I got the creamy crack again, okay, in my head. But after that day, I said, nope, I will not go back to her again. And I stopped going to her because I felt, if you are natural, okay, don't try to discourage me from going natural because it's a money thing, right? Because if I'm natural, I may not be going to your shop, or maybe I will continue to go to your shop and stuff like that. But don't try to discourage me because it's a money thing. And I allow that, okay? I take full responsibility and accountability. I allowed her to pretty much say, girl, you ain't gonna get much, okay? And then I was like, oh, okay. I see where this is going. No more after today. So, anywho, we have to understand, and this is the four agreements, like I said, that I'm reading. But we have to understand that everything is within us. Everything. See, the love that you tend to be looking for and searching endlessly for, the biggest trick that has been played on us is thinking that that stuff is going to come outside. The stuff that you are looking for, the love that you're seeking, it does not have an address. The love that you're seeking is within you. And once you start as accepting yourself, the other people outside of your existence will show up and they will accept you. And the more you accept yourself, the more you can accept others. See, once upon a time, I used to gossip about everybody. Okay, that's because I wasn't living in my purpose. That's because I was so unhappy. I was absolutely positively miserable. Okay. And if these eyes, and I used to say when I first started doing videos, I used to say, if these eyes seen your face, honey, I was critiquing you. I was criticizing you because I was so focused on somebody else's life and how to critique somebody else's life and how to judge them, that I wasn't even doing the damn work on my own damn self. Okay. But once I started being authentic, and once I started seeing, like, being my authentic self, I started realizing, like, "Ooh, this is something." Okay, honey, this is something. Okay, this ain't for the faint of heart. Okay, this is something. Showing up in your authentic damn self. Okay, this is really something because you have all these ideas going on in your goddamn mind. Okay, from the ego perspective, and from the things that you had heard. Like, you gotta be so perfect. You gotta dress this way. Your hair gotta look this way. You got, like, come on already. Okay, make you just want to do like this. Okay, because it's like you trying to live up to this image that does not exist. It really don't exist. And every time we try to live up to this image, it's like the more we are moving away from our real authentic self, the more we become unhappy, the more you become like living in hell. Okay. And I did a video and whatever. Right. It's like you living in hell because it's like it's like suffocating. Your ass is almost damn suffocating. Okay. Because it's like the image that you upholding, trying to uphold, and you still feel disconnected. You still feel broken. You still feel like you're not good enough. And meanwhile, it's like, no, but I gotta look like this. I gotta be like this. I gotta be like that. Like, listening to society and domesticated, we've been domesticated ever since kids. If I do this right, the more affection, the more attention, the more they gonna love me, right? And then we grow up doing that same exact thing. Okay, the more I do this, the more they gonna accept me, the more they gonna like me, and we tend to go against ourselves, and we start realizing that I've been going against myself. And the people that you meet in, they going against themselves. And the people that you say, well, I want them to give me love. I want them, they can't give it because the reason you met that person, okay, for instance, say you was at your lowest point, okay, and you dated, you starting a date, okay, or you got in a relationship. I wouldn't recommend it because you know why? Because the person that you gonna get in a relationship with is just gonna show you exactly how the hell you showing up. But teach his own, okay? So say you get in a relationship with someone and you at your lowest, right? Maybe you want to get in a relationship because you feel like a person is going to complete you. Maybe you feel like you won't be bored, you won't be alone, okay? But you can be in a relationship and still feel like you are by yourself, okay? But just say you get in this relationship, okay, and you start doing the work on yourself. What do I mean when I say start doing the work on yourself? You start, why I look like I got something in my eye, honey. You start doing the work on yourself. You start healing yourself. Whatever that healing looks like. Maybe you go into therapy. Maybe you meditate, and maybe you go into groups, right? Like mastermind groups, support groups, whatever. You start reading the books, okay? You start eating healthier, you start exercising, working your body out. You just start changing, okay? And the person that you have entered into a relationship with, you may say to this person, why don't you love me? Or why won't you do X, Y, and Z for me? And the reason that person, or you may say, why won't you change? That person may not change while you're in a relationship with them, okay? And only thing they reflecting back to you is how you felt about yourself when you first got into the relationship with them, okay? And so you have one or two options. One, you can stay in that relationship and hoping and lucking and praying that this person will change. Or two, you could love this person from afar, okay? And understand that their journey is their journey, like your journey is your journey. But when you first met the person and got into a relationship with them, they was showing you your shadow side. They showed you exactly how you felt about yourself. And so if you are like, well, when is this person gonna change? They drinking a lot, they doing this, I done did the work, I'm doing the work on myself, they just won't heal themselves. If they're not doing the work on themselves and you doing the work on yourself, then you will have to most likely leave that relationship. Or stay in a relationship and keep on complaining about how they not making a change, or how they not doing anything different within them in their lives, okay? But the reason why you attracted them is because your self-image of yourself, how you perceived yourself, how you looked at yourself, how you thought that this person was able to give you something. And life is just reflecting back to you that as long as you keep on going to all these different people and saying, well, do you got love for me? 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 They just reflecting back to you. Nope, I don't have love for you. I don't have love for, they saying they don't have love for themselves. I don't have love for you. I don't have love for, that's what they continuously is showing you. But the moment that you start saying, I love myself, the moment you start saying, I accept myself, the moment you start saying, I am so beautiful, I am gorgeous, the moment you start saying, I am very kind to myself, okay? The moment you start accepting you, and whenever you do something, like earlier today, I was on Facebook, and I was making gravy from scratch, okay? Because I had made some sweet potatoes. Sometimes I get sweet potatoes and yams mixed up, okay? But they were sweet potatoes, okay? And so I made sweet potatoes. I made some kiwan. I don't know why sometimes I call kiwan, I be thinking couscous. Okay. I don't even eat couscous. But I had kiwan and I had sweet potatoes, and then I had lion manes mushrooms. And so I was making like a chicken cutlet, right, with gravy and onions and stuff like that. And I had made gravy before, but this was like really the first time that like I was all hands on, okay? And I was hands on before, but this was like really the first time. And so I watched a video on YouTube of a guy saying, how to make gravy and stuff like that. And honey, I was there. I cut the onions up. I done poured the flour inside the cast iron. I done poured the little bit of oil that I did have in a cast iron. And I was there pouring the water and mixing and pouring the flour and mixing. And that gravy came out lumpy. Some parts was okay. And I was, I wouldn't even put the camera on the pot because I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. These people will not clown me on this damn social media. Oh no. And so after I made the gravy and stuff like that, a part of me, the ego part, was like, oh my goodness, don't show the plate. And I showed the plate. Okay, I showed the plate. And I said, listen, I know some of you guys probably saying this not how my grandmama make gravy. I said, well, I ain't your grandmama, okay? And so as I made the gravy, and I was eating it and stuff like that. So then afterwards, I took a nap, and that was still on my mind, how I made the gravy. And so what I did was, hey, Gaming Junk 924, peace here, baby. Afterwards, what I did was I started looking up another video because I said, you know what, I'm going to perfect this thing. I'm going to perfect this. I'm going to show back up, and I'm going to make the gravy again, right? But you have nothing to prove to anyone, okay? And that's the whole point. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Do Whenever you mess up, you mess up. Okay? That's is not the end of the world. Okay? And in the words of Brian Tracy, one of the things he says, what he says is, the quickest way to success is failure. The quickest way to success is failure. So when you do something that you may beat yourself up, and before you beat yourself up, tell yourself, I gave it my best. I gave it my best, because that's truly what all you can give, your best. Okay? And so to the person that's out there that is just, going through the pain and, feel like they want to change your life, I am going to tell you something that is so true. You are able to change your life. You are able to change your life. To every problem, there is a solution. To every problem, there is a solution. You are able to change your life. Just as I am here doing this video, you are able to change your life. Okay? I feel so excited. Okay. Um, I remember once upon a time I used to, and I said this in tons in a lot of my videos, when I used to shop and I just felt like something was missing from my life. Although, I looked a certain way and, I was dressed up and I just felt like something was missing from my life. And once I started doing the work and I got the download to do videos and get people out the matrix, right? At times I used to feel like a discomfort saying it. Um, I feel so connected, like so connected to you guys. And the reason being is because I'm being my authentic self. I'm being very transparent and I'm doing the work on myself. And not only that, um I don't want to say like I'm giving something to society, but I'm showing up. I'm showing up. And as I be transparent and authentic, okay, then I accept others who are transparent and authentic. Okay. And it feels so good. It feels, really, really amazing. I remember my mother used to say when I first started doing videos, she would say, you really obsessed with doing videos. And it wasn't, I guess it probably was in obsession. And I know obsession leaves like, a sort of who? Oh, 1 second for you. And I know obsession, it sort of leaves like a bad taste in our mouths, like, but I'm so grateful and thankful to know what my purpose and my passion is. And it feels so good because I know how it feels to just be going through life. And it's like you feel like you living but you're not alive. I know how that feel. I know how it feel to go against yourself. And it's like you want to speak up or you want to say certain things, but a part of you is like, they won't like me if I say this, or, they not gonna, you know, be around me, or if I disagree. You have to get so comfortable in your skin that if sharing your opinion, okay, and someone feels like, you know what, well, I'm just not going to be around this person, then you got to ask yourself, was that really your friend? Was that really your friend if you sharing your opinion, okay? And once you start getting so comfortable with being by yourself, if you can be by yourself, be alone with yourself, which you really never alone. Your higher self is always there with you. Your spiritual beings are, always with you. But if you can't enjoy your own company, you will not be able to enjoy anyone else's company. And it's the same thing, go back to relationships. If you don't like being by yourself, then who would actually like being with you if you your own self don't even like your own company? And so I never was the type, even growing up, and I believe I got this part from my grandmother, because my grandmother never would have like a whole bunch of company. She barely would have company. Um, and I remember as a kid, this sticks out to me. As a kid, I remember asking my grandmother, like, "Grandma, you're not bored, right?" And my grandmother will always, she would look at her arm, like be looking at her arm, and she'd say, I ain't even bored, right? And I understand, like, her not being bored, because in the now moment, okay, gratitude is a big one, right? Being grateful and thankful for what you have. In order for you to receive more, to manifest more, you have to be grateful for what you currently have in the here and the now moment, right? And is we learn as we go. Okay, we learn as we go. And I just want the person out there that's going through it, growing through it. Okay, you may be like, I'm going through it. You actually growing through it. Okay, I just want you out there to know that you have what it takes, and you are beautiful. Start showing up for yourself. And once you start showing up for yourself and being your authentic self, what you assume, realize the people that may have not the best intent for you, they will start going away. You don't even have to have a conversation with them. They'll just start going away. You know why? Because the thing that once connected you to them, it is now separating you from them by you doing the work on yourself. And so understand that you have all the power within you. All the answers has always been within you. Always. Okay. I can't give you anything. Okay. Only thing I do is make the videos. I tell you guys what I'm doing on my journey. And hope to let someone else see that they have the answers within themselves. And it takes a choice. If you want your life to be better, it just takes a choice. You just deciding. You just deciding that you sick and tired of going through the things that you are going through. And you just decide, I deserve better. And before you know it, your life, it will look completely different. It will look completely different, because one, you made a choice. You decided that you want your life to be different, and it's going to start changing. Okay. Two, you're going to start showing up for yourself without having all the answers, without knowing all the steps. You're going to start showing up for yourself. Okay. Three, you doing the work on yourself. Okay. You starting to accept yourself. You starting to look in the mirror. Affirmations is big for me. You start looking in the mirror. I love myself. I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. And you could do this once a day. Once a day. As soon as you wake up in the morning, look at yourself. Say, I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. I am phenomenal. I am smart. I am intelligent. I am kind. I am patient. Okay. I am gorgeous. I am sexy. I am a creator. And just tell yourself these positive affirmations. Look in one eye, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, honey. Look in one eye and then do it in another eye. Okay? And do that every morning. Every morning, tell yourself, get in the habit of telling yourself that. Now, I'm gonna be the first to tell you. When you first start doing it, you ain't gonna believe it. Okay, let me say that again. Okay, when you first start doing this, you will not believe this. You will not believe what you are telling yourself. Jada, make sure you put your stuff in that laundry bag. When you first start telling yourself, you definitely is not going to believe it at first. Okay, because when I first started, I didn't believe it. Okay. And I got this from Bob Proctor, my mentor, Bob Proctor. And when I first started telling myself, I didn't believe it, because I said, Okay. But I kept on doing it. And it's the repetition. Okay. Everything that you learned when you was a kid is the repetition. It's from you hearing it over and over. The ABCs, one, two, threes, hearing it over and over and over and over again. And it starts sticking. Repetition is the mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle of learning. Okay. And so when you start telling yourself these things, the more you tell yourself, the more consistent you are, the more you will start believing it. You know, you had a mama, okay, or whoever raised you, and you know, you probably was telling them lies. You probably was telling them lies when you was a kid, okay? And your mama or whoever raised you said, you, like my mother would say, my mother would say, you a habitual fool. She wouldn't say it to me. She would say it to another sibling. And she would say to, you are a habitual liar. What she she made my sibling was a compulsive liar, just lied all the time, right? And she would say, and you actually believe those lies you be telling yourself. Same as that concept. So when you get in that mirror and you tell yourself these things, and you know, you're gonna start believing it. You will start believing it. Okay. I can't tell you or express enough to you guys how many times I have told myself, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, and keep on telling myself that, telling myself that. And then I'm doing things that a few years ago I would have never done. Okay. But because I keep telling myself that, okay, it's like opportunities start presenting themselves. And it's either you take it or you back out of it. But for me, what I tend to do is I start thinking, how is this going to impact my life if I back out of it? Like, or how would this impact my life if I do the challenge? I'm always constantly challenging myself. It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing because growth is an ongoing thing. And I often say that I'm still getting to know myself. And some people, they say, you should know yourself. If you're growing, okay, if you stagnated, of course, you just you feel you know yourself, but that's not even a real you. But if you're growing, okay, you still getting to know yourself. Because the person that you was yesterday, honey, somebody give me somebody give me a word like Big Bird, okay? The person that you was yesterday, you are not that person today. The person you was even a half an hour ago, you are not that person right now. And so it should be an ongoing thing. You getting to know yourself. I had seen the video of Lauryn Hill when she said, you know, her friends and family think they know her, but she's still figuring herself out. Okay. And so it's an ongoing thing. So one of the things Bob Proctor had said, you know, from me watching his videos, and uh, I was a part of his mastermind, whereas though I paid, okay, 7,500 to be exact, okay. And I remember one of the things he had said. I wasn't gonna say this. The idea just lost. I just lost the idea. But one of the things he said was, in order for me to be free, I have to be me. Okay, and I believe he got that from a book or something. But that's one of the things that stays within me. If I want to be free, I have to be me. Okay. It was something else that I was gonna tell you guys, but I totally forgot it. I totally forgot. It slipped my mind. Um, but yeah, so to the person that's out there, I just want you to really know that you have what it takes. You have what it takes to change your life. You have what it takes to change your perception. You know, everything is within you. Just look at your life. I'm ready to change it. I'm ready to change it. I deserve better. And let the healing begin. Okay. And with that being said, I love you guys, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace.